Hello everyone and welcome to another Minish Cap randomize... Sorry, not randomizer, oh my god. I am so used to doing that intro. Anyway, we've got Minish Cap any percent tournament on. We got lower round 1 match, PK versus Cal. Just waiting for Cal to get their files set up and ready, and then we'll be able to send them off. Yep, Cal is just writing out their file names and then they'll ready up and then we'll be able to send them off. Right, it looks like they have their things all set up and ready to go, just need to ready up. Okay, and off we go. Well, in 20 seconds time. We got a 20-second countdown timer for getting ready to go. They'll reset when they see the timer hit 5 seconds. Might be a little bit behind. Like, there'll be a little bit of delay here, but yeah, they're both aware that a restart on that is going to be about a second difference, but we'll get a timing at the end. Ooh. Let me just recrop that. Always goes a bit funky in the middle of the... after the start of the race. But anyway, we are away. So this is round 1, lower round 1. Both of these runners have lost their first round match and they are fighting to stay in the tournament. It's a double elimination tournament, so you can lose one match and still be in the running. You just can't lose any more after that. So, who are our competitors today? We have... bring up my leaderboard. We have PK, who is currently in 21st place, and we have Cal, who is in 20th place. Their PBs are just over 10 seconds apart, 15-ish seconds. However, these are set at completely different times. Cal set their PB with the Octoclipper out a few months ago, back in June, in the middle of the summer. PK's PB was from the previous route, the P-Hat Clip route, that didn't do Octoclip, back in 2021. It's 3 years ago since they last did a PB. PK's a long time runner of this game. They were solidly the 5th place runner for a very long period of time. They're probably best known for almost getting world record in the Wurble Hop route change. The moment Wurble Hop got discovered, they did runs that day and was about a minute off of the world record that got set literally an hour prior. And yeah, solidly second place at that point. But we see both of our runners get the rupee manipulation at the beginning of the run perfectly fine. They have the rupees they need to be able to continue on with their run unimpeded without having to go for any backups in Deeper's Shrine. And yeah, we have both of these runners today playing on Switch, so there will be almost no difference whatsoever between console timing or anything like that. It's just going to come down to execution between the two. So I'm going to be throwing out a not too wild prediction that PK is going to be pulling ahead in the first half of the race. They have a very solid grasp of the base execution of the run, and can set rather good times throughout most of the early game, and just like their general execution of the entire game comes very natural to them. Their biggest trouble so far in the tournament has been Octoclip, and that is not their it's not just their struggle. A lot of people have been struggling very difficult, like really hard with Octoclip so far in the tournament. It is just a make or break trick. Some people been nailing it, getting it first try, second try and stuff. Some people just losing minutes, absolutely huge amounts of time, and losing their match because of it. Cal was doing some practice of Octoclip today, and I had a little peek. They seemed pretty confident at it, so it really is going to come down to how quickly can PK pull off Octoclip, and how big of a gap they can pull before that point and not try and lose that much time to Cal by at Octoclip. That's going to be the big decider for this match. Also, apologies for the ads that are going to be playing on the Cal side. Also, yeah, you're going to be getting UK ads. Yeah, blame Twitch. I can't do too much about that. Oh, sorry. There we go. Sorry, we lost PK's feed for a moment there. And we've lost a timer as well. There we go. Right, everything should be back up now. It's rather difficult to be hosting a impromptu restream. I don't have special like hook and feeds or anything like that, so we're gonna have to deal with just like the feed that Twitch is going to want to give us. Yeah, that was 2 minutes of adverts, by the way. But yeah, we have Cal's feed returning back in, and they are a minor amount of time behind PK. We saw the desync from the beginning of the race when they started the file, and it was about a second in PK's favor. So, but still taking that into account, PK has like the very minorest of leads right now. Yeah, PK has only taken 1 hit of damage from enemies so far. Cal has been hit 3 times. Enemy RNGs not make like getting hit by enemies not make or break at this point of the race. It's just going to impact how risky you can be in the upcoming dungeon. Yeah, it didn't look like anyone was really going for the lily pad strat moments ago, but we have both people heading their way into Minish Village. One of the rooms that can save and lose quite a big amount of time is this spiral room. Yeah, as PK's showing, yeah, you really want to get horizontal roll to hit on the ladder, just like Cal got there. PK didn't line up exactly perfectly, missed the ladder, and then struggled to get onto the ladder, losing quite a big chunk of the advances they had up to this point. Yeah, the timer is not going to be super accurate for seeing, like, oh, did they get a sub 10 enter Deepwood? The timer is about 5 seconds ahead on my feed than it is on the timers for everyone in the race. Very reasonable Puffstall RNG in that first section. PK not getting damage boost, and neither Cal. And safely navigating the barrel without it rolling back and having to counter-rotate it back into position. Alright, Pesto RNG, PK gets it right in the way, so she deals with it immediately. Cal having to do a little bit of a walk there to be able to walk up to the Pesto and kill it, and then also the Slug gonna get in the way as well. Not great RNG for Cal in that room. Alright, time for the water section with the mushrooms. How's PK going to be able to do these? Looks very clean, nicely done. I personally really struggle with the second mushroom pole, and, well, I mean, to be honest, both of them, having to... It's just the complex, like, direction change that you have to do. You have to tap one direction, grab, pull the other direction, having come from, like, a 90-degree angle. It is a little bit awkward, and I do get my fingers twisted. This slug room... pretty decent from Cal. PK struggled a little bit, took some damage, but really that was just in an effort to save time, most of, because PK has health to spare for the rest of the dungeon. Hopstalls, not perfect, but still pretty decent. Right, time for Madapilla. PK having Madapilla kind of blocked the way a little bit, but managed to maneuver around, and if they can get a good second hit, this will be an easy 2-cycle. Yeah, looks like a perfect 2-cycle for PK. Cal, maybe missing one slash in that first cycle, but decent enough if they can get a reasonable number of hits in this time. In the second, it looks good. Yeah, there we go. And Cal also gets the 2-cycle. And a free heart drop to help them out. Yeah, PK only got hit once by Madapilla, so they now have like the health disadvantage at this point, but like it's also completely reasonable to be on this amount of health in this lower section of Deepwood. You really don't mind about the enemies here. You'll take the hits. You have plenty of health to spare for this and the upcoming boss fight. They've managed to do a good job so far of avoiding taking damage. They get the rupee RNG. You just have to factor that in for later on. They got their text box pop up, and they're not going to get another one later when they get a rupee and intended point of the run. Oh, the pesto hits them off the lily pad. That only loses like a second or so. Not a huge deal, but just annoying. Getting the drowning animation, yeah, is frustrating to get in this section. And that pesto is, yeah, it's pretty much just RNG, and you gotta just hope that it's not going to be in the way. There's some positions it can get to, and it's just awful. Yeah, this lily pad section, not the most fun section to do. A minor mispress in like your inputs and you end up using the gust jar in the wrong direction, or like the gust jar just doesn't activate and you lose time. And PK collects the big key and heads to the boss. Cal's going to be finishing up the lily pad section, and we'll start doing their mushroom room, the big key. Yeah, very, very decent time from PK getting what looks like a sub 16 enter green shoe. Yeah, Cal's struggling a little bit here in Deepwood, ending up losing quite a decent chunk of time. But they're going to make their way into the green shoe fight. PK gets a very good burst cycle there, quick wobble. Gonna see how many times it's on the ground. 6 slashes. That's reasonable RNG. Again, pretty fast for PK. What is Cal gonna get? Well, PK gets a 3 jump at the end. Not gonna be saving time there. PK finishes up the fight. Cal's moving on to their second stage. They missed time. Their Gust Blaster delayed the Green Chew a little bit, and they got hit out of the Gust Jar use right as it was about to become vulnerable. Yeah, losing a few seconds there because of that. Yeah, and Cal's getting multiple jumps as well. Are they going to be able to get the 3 jump? No, they get a 4 jump. Okay, for the next section, PK is going to be heading over and grabbing their bombs on the exit to the dungeon. No jackpot for PK today. 2 greens, but not a third green. Yeah, this is looking at a roughly 20-second advantage that PK has at this point. Let's see there. They loaded back into the game 1953. We'll see when Cal gets to loading in. Meanwhile, PK will be grabbing their spin attack after they've grabbed the Kinstone bag. So it's about 35 seconds. This is a big advantage for PK so far. Yeah, Cal ended up losing a lot of time in Deepwood. PK getting their guard skip first try and a roll lift on the bomb before the bottle scrub. Yeah, nicely executed section from PK. Alright, gonna see Cal's attempt at guard skip. And nicely done from Cal. Alright. PK getting Tektite RNG right in the way. Nice position on the bomb. Absolutely damage boosting them into the bomb cave and clearing out the Tektite as well, allowing them to do some faster movement through this section without it getting in the way. They begin their strength section, right? Let's see how Cal fares in this section. Enemies mostly staying out of the way for Cal. Pretty decent. Have to go back for that blue rupee. Need to get all of those blue rupees. Very fast menu from PK there. You can hear how quickly those inputs go through. One of the weird quirks with menuing in Minish Cap is that if you input two different inputs on the same frame, they cancel each other and no input goes through. You try and press perfect diagonal, nothing happens, which is very frustrating. So getting inputs that fast, that like short space apart, and it not counting as like same frame, they were literally like frames apart. Very hard to time. Alright, what kind of luck is PK gonna get with these Custos here? Ooh, it tried to aggro, but it was mostly out of the way, and it did stay out of the way for them. PK picking up another green rupee. We only need to pick up one green rupee in the whole run for the rupee route to work. Definitely don't need any extras. Excellent from PK managing to kill the P-Hat that is outside this cave. So when they exit the cave right now, the P-Hat is just nicely out of the way and they can just roll immediately and won't bother them. Alright, we'll see how Cal does on this this section with the enemy RNG whilst PK begins their climb. PK has excellent health, really not getting touched by enemies at all. I believe they got hit once in getting the Mountain Dew, and just hasn't been hit since. Which is just exactly what you want to happen. Alright, Cal getting bullied by the enemies here, having to waste a bomb. Get the bomb getting knocked out of their hand when they were in a pretty bad spot. PK gets hit by the Tektite at the top of Mount Cranel. Meanwhile, Cal takes the moment to just farm for more bomb drops. I think they were pretty decent on their bomb count. They were on 2, so they were going to. They'd only wasted 1 bomb, so it was pretty reasonable in the position that they were to keep going. But they wanted that extra safety. They went for the bomb drop. I do believe Cal does do the cave triple manipulation in Swamp, which does get a extra bomb drop. PK pushes the boulder in the wrong direction and gets confused for a second, just looks at what they did and then quickly goes and pushes it back in the correct direction. Cal takes a death on the climb, getting absolutely rotten enemy RNG, boulder RNG on that climb. Yeah, there's very little you can do about the enemy boulders in that section. It loses time, but they're going the wrong way right now. They need to be going to the left, but they're heading in the wrong direction. Yeah, typically a death on that climb wouldn't lose. It loses a lot of time dying in this section, but it wouldn't be as bad as dying much later in. But they didn't know the route from the beginning of the area to get back to the climbing wall, so they effectively doubled the amount of time they lost there. yeah, PK pulling out a huge lead at this moment. There is probably a minute to 2 minutes lead at this point. We'll see how they do. We'll see what the time difference is when PK gets to the dungeon entrance and when Cal gets to the dungeon entrance as well. Okay, PK makes their way in. 29:03. See time Cal gets into the beginning, but we'll be seeing PK's early Krenel right now. Early Cave of Flames. Cave of Flames, they entered on really decent health, so they didn't even bother getting any help at the beginning of the dungeon. You can just do that when you have the health advantage that PK has right now. Very common to take some time out just to grab the health from the pots at the beginning, but yeah, PK had a super clean Krenel, which saves that time for them. Alright, we'll be checking out what kind of RNG they get in this section. These enemies here. The second one's right in the way. Ooh, are they going to get there? Okay, nice backup from PK. They didn't get to use the bomb blast from the first one, but they used the second one to do that. Nice triple Helmasaur Gust Jar. Very nice RNG for PK in that room. Yeah, enemies staying nicely out of the way for PK during this section. And yeah, PK finishing up their Minish section of Cave of Flames, going to be doing the lava platforms, getting ready to go over to Angle Retention. Cal making their way to the entrance of the dungeon. Or PK mistiming one of their rolls, rolling into the lava. The lava platforms you can roll onto and they'll cancel your roll, so you end up doing lots of micro rolls in this section, and it's very easy to mistime the inputs. Alright, Cal gets a 31:23, which puts them at 2 minutes 20 behind at this point. Cal's health's getting really low here. Yeah, they didn't get help at the beginning of the dungeon, but they did get a lucky heart drop there. Alright, PK onto Angle Retention. See how they're going to do. They get the Angle Retention first try. They're going to pull it out of bounds. Drop it in the right spot. Yeah, no time lost here on this setup. We're going to see them do the bridge section. Yeah, and they're going for the safe 4 roll. They're going to be landing right in the middle of the bridge. And yeah, nicely done. They got pushed up a little bit, and I was worried if they weren't going to be releasing their inputs, but they did. They didn't get the soft lock. Alright, time for the chain soldier, the chain soldiers, the the spiky chews, perfect quote from PK. Cal also doing a Helmasaur room. PK getting really lucky on those heart drops. They got 2 and just healed back up to full in the section for free without having to really go out of their way for hearts. Cal is going to have to be fighting pretty hard for their health right now. Need to be avoiding any damage. Oh, that is not the RNG you want to be seeing. Get the spiky beetle going right in the way. Yeah, Cal is definitely regretting not grabbing that extra health at the beginning of the dungeon. Alright, PK making their way to the second angle retention room. Alright, they're being a bit more cautious with the Rollerbite management, but they make sure all of the Rollerbites are out the way and nothing can possibly go wrong for this section. Cal gets 2 heart drops from the fire. Very nice. Very nice recovery RNG for them. PK finishing up the angle retention setup, and yeah, perfect for them. They're going to be heading into Glee Rock. Maintaining their advantage. Barely any time loss for PK in this section. Yeah, and into Glee Rock they go. Alright, Cal setting up for the first angle retention now. Oh, they missed. They released too far away from it and they didn't grab it on the first try. So they had to spend some time there just setting it up again, but they managed to pull it out of bounds to the right spot and pull it back into bounds. Yeah. A couple seconds more time lost for Cal. Going for the out of bounds movement now. Going for the safe strat, so they should be landing on the bridge. Nicely done. And time for the chain, the spiky chew fight. A little bit high, so they didn't get the spin attack on the bottom one, but they did manage to stun it when they quick killed all of the later ones, so just a very quick recovery there, and it wasn't a bad fight at all. Alright, PK in the middle of the Glee Rock fight. They just finished the second cycle. They're getting the heart RNG they would like. Yeah, pretty clean fight so far in Glee Rock for PK. PK wants to rotate Glee Rock all the way down to the bottom, and oh, just slightly mistimed on that cane shot. Literally frames too early. Yeah. Right, cleanly executed Glee Rock fight for PK. Alright, Cal's time for second angle retention. They deal with the Rollerbites a little bit faster than PK did, managing to save a very small amount of time here. Does the setup perfectly. They take their time to do an extra hit on that Rollerbite just to make sure that they don't take damage unnecessarily. Most people we see don't do that, and it's just faster just to take the hit because you're going to go into the Glee Rock fight and, you know, one hit before entering Glee Rock. You're going to heal after the fight anyway, so no big deal. But Cal wants to make sure that they do not die in Glee Rock because their health isn't great and they could lose it at this point. But whilst Cal does their fight, we're going to be eyes on PK doing Chronal Clip. Chronal Clip's a big chance to lose time if they don't nail this perfectly. So they're using the right rock beetle, which puts it onto one spot to the right. They're going to try and line up. They managed to get the right pixel. Did they push against the rock beetle enough? Yes, they did. They get it first try. Alright, PK is just going to be doing out of bounds movement here, whilst Cal does their second cycle in Glee Rock. And I doubt we'll be seeing PK going for McKeehaw here. Nope, they're just going to go for the safe transition, and they land, and they're going to go ahead straight for the sign. Yeah, not an easy section at all for PK. And shout-outs to Atros, slashing the sign. What a gamer. Alright, Cal finishes up their Glee Rock fight. Glee Rock deciding to face it right instead, so losing about a second here at the end of the fight. Okay, PK starting their boot quest. They're gonna do their save and quit. With Bombs and Cane, head through town. Are they gonna get a roll lift here? No. Alright, whilst PK heads their way through the ranch to get the spare key, Cal is going to be stepping up onto Perennial Clip. See how they fare with this trick. PK got it first try. No time loss at all for PK. Cal also moving the rightmost rock beetle, but they do leave it in the spot that is going to put it into the right spot here. Yep, they push it down to the right spot. Gonna align. They're one pixel too high, and they move two down. And they move onto the wall, and that kills the trick. They have to go back to the sign and set up their bottle invulnerability again. They're on the right pixel now, but they're having to lose about 12 seconds for waiting for the rock beetle to move. And then they mistime their slash inputs. The slash turns pretty tricky there. Yeah, they're going to have to lose more time here just getting the right setup. So yeah, they're pixel aligned. Now they have to push, do the slash turn, and hold. And now just hope that they did the inputs correctly, and they did, and they get the clip. Yeah, but unfortunate section for Cal, loses about 25 seconds in that section. Alright, they're doing that out of bounds, and they're going to be landing. They're going for McKeehaw. They didn't get it! And losing more time on top of that, having to save and quit to come back into bounds. They soft locked, trying to go for the faster transition. Yeah, PK is extending their lead right now. They are moments away from picking up their boots. They are a good 3 minutes ahead at this point. And that is 42.06 for PK picking up the boots. Gonna see when Cal gets it, but PK is going to be deep into the swamp at that point. They're heading directly over to there right now. Meanwhile, Cal is just beginning their boot quest. Gonna start setting the flags so that they're able to head over to the mushroom and pick it up. Yeah, PK not getting the best RNG from the enemies in that section, but their health's pretty solid. It's getting hit every now and then by these enemies. Alright, how's PK's Moldoza fight for the bow going to go? Very RNG heavy fight. Yeah, pretty decent RNG, honestly, for PK. Don't think they're going to be too upset with that. Yeah, the enemies mostly clung onto the right-hand side. The worst thing is when they go and hide in the left-hand corner. It takes so long to go over to that side of the room. But they're beginning their swamp manipulations. Now, they go for what looks like Toad's double into P-Hat. Yep, they grabbed 2 green Kinstones, and then they're going to be trying to time these rolls at the right time. Looks very good. Yep, and they killed the rope at the right time, and the P-Hat is in the perfect position there. Lovely. Right, gonna be super safe here, pulling this P-Hat into bounds. Ooh, that was very close, but they managed to not kill the P-Hat there. If you suck up the P-Hat onto the Gust Jar, you kill it, and you have to restart the trick from your last save, or save the game to keep those Kinstones. Right, what's the position looking like? Oh, it doesn't go into the right spot. This is going to be a luck-based clip, and they get it! That's a purely luck-based clip at that point when you get that kind of position from the P-Hat. They managed to get the boot dash clip with the P-Hat in the inconsistent spot, and that was very fast. That was a very fast section for PK, heading into Fortress of Winds. Right, they're beginning their fortress manipulations here. They're going to be going for a love clip. Cal's still making their way through the the boot quest. They're going to be picking up their boots momentarily. Yeah, and we won't be able to see how Cal's progress is going for now, but we're going to be focusing on PK. PK looks like they got a good RNG there. Yes, excellent. Nicely done. And they get the lever clip. Now they're going to be killing the Armos and getting their 3rd Kinstone from that. Yep, and they recognize the Kinstone Sparkle and did an extra roll there. Yep, and this is the right Stalpos RNG. You can tell when you load into the room the direction the Stalpos face. That's determined by RNG, and yeah. Okay, they got the 2 boot dusts in the right position, so yeah, looking excellent for PK. Right, time for the Dark Nut kill. A little bit early on the roll there. Are they going to get the Kinstone? They didn't get their Kinstone. They're going to have to do a backup at the Armos clip now. But they have an excellent bomb count, and their health's pretty solid as well. Yeah, this backup minute is pretty tight for PK. They basically have to get the Armos clip first try. Okay, we return to Cal. Cal is in their swamp manipulations, doing doing cave triple. Yep, and looks good. I didn't see what the Kinstone Sparkles were from everyone. We're going to be just watching them go and see how they do. Cal gets the P-Hat. PK gets the Armos. Oh no, the Armos goes the wrong direction for PK. PK opting to reset. They're not going to go for the after Mazao. This is the only way they know how to get their Kinstone. There is a pretty easy Kinstone manipulation after Mazao that they don't opt to go for. Meanwhile, Cal has the P-Hat in the right spot. Doesn't get the second Gust Strat on it. They're gonna have to put it back into the spot and try again. PK again doesn't get the Armos clip. Has to reset to try again. Cal gets their P-Hat clip and is going to be heading over to Fortress. Yeah, Cal's manipulation does get 3 Kinstones, which means that as long as they get to Leather Clip, they have all of the Kinstones they need, and they won't need to be doing what PK's doing in terms of backup if they don't continue their manipulation into the Dark Nut. Right. Gonna see how PK does. No, the Armos did move in the... They, yeah, their bomb time was slightly off, so the Armos did move in the wrong direction. Okay. Cal messes up their manipulation, so they're going to be doing this section again. Fortress proving to be a really tricky dungeon today. We've seen in some matches that, like, people have just been breezing through Fortress, but, like, it is not a trivial section. It is one of the hardest parts of the entire run. It's not expected that you just clip here perfectly, and PK does get their clip, slashes the Armos, and gets the Kinstone that they need. They can continue now. Alright, PK gets their portal items first try, and Cal gets the leather clip. Gonna see if they are able to kill the Armos and get the Kinstone that they need. Excellent. Alright, Cal will be continuing this into a Dark Nut manip. That gets them a red Kinstone so they can avoid getting the chest that PK was getting. Yeah, Cal being given a big opportunity by PK there to bring some time back into it. Not saving as much time as they would like because of the having to reset and not get the leather clip first try. Doesn't look like their RNG is correct here for the Dark Nut, but they're going to go for it. Maybe they did the adjustment correctly. They get a red Kinstone. Is that the correct one, though? There are 2 different red Kinstones out 1 RNG value apart. I wouldn't be surprised to see Cal checking their Kinstones at this save, just to make sure that they got the right one. Unless that is their method of doing it, and they are 100% certain about it. Yep, Cal resets. They did their save and reset. They are confident that is the correct Kinstone. Alright, meanwhile, PK is doing the Mazao fight. They are on the second phase. Yeah, not the slowest second phase. Oh no, sorry, they're in the third phase. They're already done with the boss. Meanwhile, Cal getting their Armos clip, doesn't get it first try, does get it second try though, and that isn't a that doesn't lose them time like for PK because they're not having to manipulate a Kinstone here. Alright, did they get the right position? Yep, they got the right timing. They get their portal items done first try, and they are just 1 Mazao fight behind PK. This is a roughly 2-minute gap now. Cal managing to bring that back in by about a minute throughout that section. We are really heating up in this race right now. It is just the glitch heavy, trick heavy midsection of the run now. These tricks are not easy. Anyone can be making mistakes at any opportunity, and we still have Octoclip to contend with. Cal, being on low health right now, being on a favorable amount of health, honestly, you want to be about this health, leaving the Mazal fight on 1 full heart, maybe 3/4. We are going to be doing a death abuse. PK will be doing their death abuse soon. They damage down intentionally off that Octorite to be on half a heart. But yeah, PK gonna be setting up their Lon Lon Ranch Death Abuse right now. Gonna be seeing how they get on with this trick. Alright, Cal in their second cycle. PK getting the setup and then doing a safety save, just in case this goes wrong. You have to do a frame perfect input on the boots and the bombs, and if you don't get it, the door doesn't open. But the door did open, they got the trick. Now it's time for Ocarina Glitch. Ocarina Glitch, another frame perfect trick. You need to press the Ocarina the same frame you do a direction switch from diagonal to directly up. And they just jump onto the portal on the right spot, and they are up. Right, Cal on their third cycle of Mazal. Yeah, Cal losing quite a big chunk of time in this boss fight. They really struggled in the first phase of the boss. Yeah, it looks like they're losing about 35 to 40 seconds here, just in the boss fight alone. Right, PK is going to be bonking into the RNG tree. What are they going to get? They get a fairy. Yep, the fairy is exactly what they're wanting to get. Alright, PK doing their last fusion for the boomerang. Cal starting their first fusion for the boomerang. Cal not talking to Tingle. They did talk to them. I don't know if that sets the RNG because they fused, then they talked. Okay, it did. Sorry, not setting the RNG. It sets the flag for the Tingle brothers to talk. A little bit awkward from Cal, but they did not lose time having to walk back because they didn't talk to the... They did talk to Tingle. PK now picking up their bow. Right, Cal needs to damage down more off of these Octoroks down to half a heart, and now they can be setting up their Lon Lon Death Abuse. PK hitting the last switch, going to pick up their boomerang. They're going to be damaging down. See how Cal does. Cal breaks the other bush. You need to break exactly 2 bushes for this setup with a quick slash turn. It's slightly tight. Cal is not saving here. Cal is going for the risky strats here. They get it first try. Are they going to go for the... Are they going to get the Ocarina glitch? They were too bad on that setup. Meanwhile, PK setting up their lake door. Very similar setup. Also saving their here as well as they did earlier. Don't want to be losing huge chunks of time to mistiming their inputs. They get the setup perfectly, trying to get the Ocarina glitch. Cal gets the Ocarina glitch. PK trying to go for Ocarina glitch. They get it much faster than Cal. And they can head into the next dungeon. Yeah, PK entering Temple of Droplets around a 58-20. 58-20. We'll see how, like, what time Cal gets entering Temple of Droplets. PK will be heading over to the first Ocarina glitch, and then heading over to get the big key. Meanwhile, Cal will be doing the rest of the fusions. Yeah, PK getting bothered a bit by the Moldozers here. Bad RNG from them. Both of them coming in crowding around that that staircase. Yeah, if you don't get this one first try, or like second try, the enemies can just get in the way. And if you're really unlucky, they can just go in the way as soon as you're trying to do it. But they do get the Ocarina glitch. PK just doing their boss key puzzle. How did their yeah, they did bonk the tree and get a fairy. No rogue kinstones for anyone today. Okay, PK beginning their boss door clip. How's their timing here? Looks good. They should be landing in a pretty solid spot here. Yep, lovely. PK having to do an extra menu here to equip the sword, and Gustia not doing it on the screen transition. But yeah, PK going to be fighting Blue Chew. Not a huge thing to focus on for PK. This is a very auto-scroller boss. You just have to wait for it to be vulnerable. Cal, in the meantime, hitting the last switch to get their bow, their boomerang. They're going to get their boomerang, then they're going to be doing Lake Door, and then making their way into Temple of Droplets. Alright, Cal going for their Lake Door setup. The door opens. Now we're going to see, are they going to get the Ocarina glitch? They get it first try. Meanwhile, PK on their final phase here. Yeah, mistimed and mispositioned on their spin attack to try and get the quick kill at the end of the fight, but they can pick up their lantern, and it's time for Octo Clip. Meanwhile, Cal's at the beginning of the dungeon. Didn't pay attention to what time. It was rough. It was probably just under a 120. Sorry, a 102. So PK had a 58-20. It's about 3.5 minutes. Yeah, PK managing to save big amounts of time over Cal in this section. Yeah. Yeah, Cal falls back to about 3.5 minutes behind. Cal does get their Ocarina glitch pretty quick. PK starting Octoclip now. Alright, that was first try. They are gonna have to repeat that. Yeah, PK's been hard at work trying to work on this setup. And they get it third try! That was excellent from PK. That's probably the best they've done in a very long time. Yeah. They... third try is extremely... I wouldn't say extremely. It's more difficult to continue the manipulation from this point. Not sure how fast they're going to be about that. They do the extra rolls there that you're supposed to drop for the third try. So we're gonna have to just see. Yeah, that is not a rock pattern that you want to see. The RNG is really advanced at this point. They're gonna have to just not do as many rolls as they would like in the next section. But I don't think the RNG is going to be advancing in the sequence that we want it to advance in, and it's going to be hitting a different range. So it's going to be very unlikely to see a 0 ink for PK at this point. They're most likely going to be getting 1 ink. Yeah, they're not even positioning themselves in the position to be able to see if they got the right RNG. They are just not doing anything. Oh, they just did 3 rolls. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. Yeah, their best option was to just stand still and hope for the best, but the RNG was landing most likely in this big range after the range that we want to be aiming for. That is a complete void of good RNG. There's just like 20 RNG values in a row that it never does 0 ink. And if you're missing the RNG by going too late, you're always going to be hitting in that range, and you're never going to be getting a 0 ink. Yeah, but they do get a 1 ink. Right as Cal finishes up Blue Chew, PK finishes up Octo. Right, we're going to be seeing Cal's attempt at Octoclip right now. They're just resetting again. They have Sword equipped here. That's fine. They'll just have to do a slightly different menu for the Gust Jar, but they're doing their setup now. In the meantime, PK gonna be doing some story stuff. They're gonna be heading to Hyrule Castle, doing the double sword upgrade from green to red to blue, and then heading to the next dungeon. Out pushing the pot down, and they can begin their setup now. Yeah, they moved they didn't even go for it. They just walked straight up. Alright, Cal doesn't get it first try. Yeah, they did activate a bunch of pots over there, which I believe affects RNG. I've never factored it in before. They don't get second try. They get it this time. They're matching PK. If not, they are going to be falling behind here. No, they don't get it third try. Yeah, Cal will not be able to do the manipulation from this point. No, they mistimed their. They didn't do a roll, and then like they didn't do a neutral grab to stop their movement, so they ended up doing a really long amount of walking and did the like. They hit a timing to get rolled down into the bottom right corner, but they built up way too much momentum, and you need to clip with a very small amount of momentum. You have to be in the right position, and they get it. Yeah. The amount of walking we do is only 7 frames. You can't do any walking longer than that. Otherwise, you just build up too much sliding momentum on the ice to be able for it to be able to reduce decay down to 0 in order for the clip to work. We have to have a no momentum for at least a couple of frames whilst we're inside the wall to be able to actually clip through. A little bit awkward how the trick works, but yeah, that was a 5th try for Cal. 5th, possibly 6th. Wasn't keeping too much of a count on that. So yeah, PK saving about 30 to 45 seconds over Cal just on the Octoclip. And if Cal gets unlucky, they could be getting 2 ink. Or it's advanced enough that we're in basically random territory for Cal. PK was only just past the RNG window that we want to hit, which is a very bad window to hit. But Cal completely missed it. So it's just random now. Like, there's nothing to go by. You just have to... I don't know what... No, they can't... There's not a pattern to look for. They need to just keep going. They advance RNG way too much to be able to manipulate this. Yeah. They do get sucked. Okay, PK. PK did their Ocarina glitches before Palace. And yeah, they're into Palace. Cal has 1 ink. Cal will be finishing up this fight whilst we see how PK gets on with the first couple of rooms in Palace. Lots of enemy RNG in this section. Yeah, the enemy's just getting completely in the way from PK, forcing him to not do the movement that we would like to do. Yet Cal gets 1 ink, same lot that PK got. But they did take a few more attempts at Octoclip than PK. So that does push them back to about 4 minutes behind. PK has a huge advantage at this point. Nothing bordering a death in Vati or a death in Georg is going to be enough time difference to bring Cal back to this. This is PK's race to lose, and they just need to be playing consistent Minish Cap from this point to be able to secure this win. Clean wizard fight from PK. Alright, and a clean dream jump as well from PK. Alright, time for stair clip. PK has the shield for the shield variant. Yeah, not going for the fast drop off of the moving platform, but they do get a reasonably fast setup. They go all the way to the bottom of this room. They have the boomerang set up. They're going to be going for the easy like setup here, where you just... Oh, the enemy moved in the way. Yeah, the one downside to using the boomerang in that room is the Keese RNG can be pretty bad and get in the way. The setup they were going for normally avoids that, where the Keese has to really be completely in front of the switch, which is very unlikely, but they did hit that bad RNG. PK gets the Wobble Hop first try, very easy trick, and just going to be trying to do clean movement from this point for the rest of Palace. Very odd looking jump from PK across the gap there, walking like gliding up into the torches. Hitting a very jagged movement. Haven't seen anyone doing that before. Yeah, awkward jump there, but they're going to be heading into the chain soldier fight momentarily. Cal gets their sword upgrades and is going to be exiting the castle and warping to Palace, needing to do their ocarina glitches to enter the dungeon. PK doesn't get the kill on that first chain soldier. It's one hit away, has to pick up at the end of the fight. PK's health is very good here. They're going to be confident going into Georg. They don't have a backup fairy, I believe? No, they do not have a backup fairy. They are going to get their backup fairy here, though. They want to play this nice and safe. They didn't pick up the fairy when they swung the bottle, interestingly. So they just healed off of it. They didn't want to heal. That didn't heal as much health as they would like at all. Yeah, they're gonna just go into Georg without a fairy. They could have reloaded the room to try and get that fairy, but yeah, they're just going to be hopping right into the Georg fight. Meanwhile, Cal gets their ocarina glitches. They're not going for a fairy. They're going straight into the dungeon. Yeah, one entire palace behind at this point for Cal. Not the entire dungeon, like the dungeon up to Enteros. Just the palace dungeon section. Decent enemy RNG for Cal, though. Meanwhile, PK is in the Georg fight, has to contend with bad RNG on the Georg. That spin didn't hit. But looks like a good second cycle. Yeah, just manipulating Georg how we normally do it, and taking clones tanking a hit, Link tanking a hit, but that's fine. Moving on to the third cycle, or moving on to the second blue, does get the spin attack and one cycle there. Now onto the third one, seeing what kind of RNG they're going to be expecting. Oh, they did lose their clones, but they have a cloneless pattern right now. So if they can get the slash here, yeah, there we go. Now they just need to do enough damage with Link alone to advance the cycle. Hopefully that was enough damage. Not too sure. They get another cloneless pattern. If they lose their clones here, that's fine. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They did enough damage. Georg's saving them pretty big there. PK's on really low health here. I mean, it's not too big of a deal at this point. You normally don't take any damage, so yeah. But if PK got hit again, that would have been really bad. And they get the cloneless pattern, so they can just abandon making their clones at the end. End the fight. Very lucky fight for PK. That could have gone way worse. Alright, meanwhile, Cal has been making their way through the beginning section of Alice. They are doing the bow setup for this trick. Yep, they get it pretty cleanly. They're not going to go to the bottom because they're not going for the boomerang setup. They are just going to be doing the older setup for this, and yeah, they're going to be hitting the switch with the bow. Grab this small key and continue on. PK is going to start the Moblin fight. Going to see how that goes for them whilst Cal is doing Wobble Hop. Yeah, PK going for boomerangless. Did get a decent fight there. Having the boomerang wouldn't have saved any more time for them, so they did manage to save the time from having to do an extra menu there. Cal getting clean movement here with the fan jump. Gonna see how they do here. It's a little bit cleaner on the movement here for Cal than it was for PK, but it's still huge gap in terms of time between these two at this point. Looks like a little bit of an awkward chain soldier fight for Cal, but not too bad. Yeah, Cal's not on the best amount of health right now for what they would like. They are going to be bottling the fairy here. And then heading into Georg. Yeah, their current health is a lot lower than what PK's was going into the fight, and PK almost died. If Cal receives the same amount of damage, they will die, but they do have the fairy to fairy revive. They would like to be keeping that fairy for later to help them out in Vati if things go south. Oh, PK resetting their game back to the beginning of the run. That's going to put them about a minute, an hour and 20-ish behind Cal at this point. Real big swing in the race right now. All right, how's Cal's Georg fight going to go? Yeah, not too bad. They took some extra hits than they would like in that second phase, but yeah, Blue not playing nice. I in the bad spot. They don't get the backup to slash. They have to have a third cycle on the Blue. Not nice. Alright, no cloneless pattern here, but they do get clean hits in here, and then Gil gets and comes and hits them, taking out their clones. Should have been enough damage to advance the cycle, though. That it did look like a decent number of hits. And then gets insta-hit with another orb particle coming right for them. They're on a quarter heart right now. One hit and they're gonna be eating their fairy. Yeah, that is a hit. They go down. They're trying to get onto Georg here, because you want to be on its back to be able to get the quick kill, but they're gonna have to just avoid, like, have to delay it a bit longer. Yeah, multiple extra cycles here. Not having enough time to set up their spin attack. And they also get cloneless in the final phase, and very quick kill in the very final phase there. Meanwhile, PK finishing up their Sanctuary section, starting Dark Harrow Castle, immediately picking up with PK. This is an interesting setup they're doing here. Oh, I think their first position was just wrong. Yeah, there we go. Okay, right, they get the clip. It looked like they didn't line up correctly on those other attempts. Not going for the setup there, but gets the wall clip anyway. Right, PK can just head out the dungeon, head back in, and go and do the bomb strat. Their health's pretty low for what you would like it to be at this point. Did get hit by a lot of the moblins so far. That moblin could have hit them. Alright, how's the cannonless gonna go? Excellent, they get it first try. Alright, Cal is beginning their Moblin fight. Alright, PK being extra careful with that, like, puzzle room. PK not getting too bothered by stuff in this section. Cal using the boomerang to make that an easy fight. Alright, and now time for PK to be doing their Ocarina glitch. They get it first try. Alright, off to the left-hand side of the dungeon to pick up a small key, then they'll save and reset, and let's do another Ocarina glitch. I didn't see what PK's bomb count was, but they were pretty solid throughout the whole run. I don't think they need to go out of their way to get a bomb drop up there, and they don't. No, PK is locked in and focused on finishing out the run. Yeah, 2 bombs, perfect amount to have. You just need to use 1 after this point, and having another one won't change the RNG. You need at least 1 bomb in your inventory for the drop patterns to be the same for the Vati manipulations later. If you do have 0 bombs, the drops are going to be different. So if you're expecting a heart drop, it won't occur. But I don't know whose manipulation they're going for. I believe it's Navi's. It's going to be the Navi-Lin Vati manipulation. It's what PK is going to go for. Alright, what's their pattern here? It's right down? Is that the... I think that's the right value. That's the... Right down is +0. They are on the right RNG. Meanwhile, Cal has an ad. It's a 2-minute ad whilst they're going through the cutscenes before the dungeon. So we're just going to be focused on PK here. PK gets their last Ocarina glitch pretty solidly. The RNG looks good. They're going to have a good position on the... good RNG on the chain soldiers here. Yep, they're lined up nicely. PK, low. Oh, there we go. Did 1 extra slash. Are they going to cut a roll here? I think they cut the roll there. So this, if this is good, then the shell will be in the middle. Yep, perfect. Yeah, PK's got this minute down. Oh, they did an extra roll there. Oh, and they're getting fairies. Fairies completely kill the RNG. Alright, about 15 seconds left on the ad from Cal's side, and then we'll see where they are. They will likely be starting DHC. Yeah. Oh, Cal, we catch Cal just as they fail the cutscene walking. Yeah, they walked too far down into the guard, and it killed their spin. Yeah, PK finishing up. Cal not going for a subpixel setup here. They're just going to YOLO this. Are they going to get it? They get it first try, no setup. Right, they're going to be doing the safe setup for this, though. The wall clip. Right, and PK does their save and quit, beginning Vati. Gonna see how well PK can nail their manipulation for the Vati fight. Cal gets their cannon room strat first try as well. Cal losing a little bit of time on charging their clones there. Alright, PK starting Keaton room. Yep, looks good on PK's side. And starting the Darknut fight. See how this manipulation goes. That's the Black Knight secured, and they get the roll timing right on that Red Darknut. Yep, they're going for the Navi lens setup. Right, Cal going for Ocarina Glitch. Looks like they got a stair walk, but then they immediately get the Ocarina Glitch after that. Right, PK continuing the manipulation into Vati 1. PK's on an excellent pace right now. This is a PB pace run for PK. This is going to be a big PB. At least I think so. Unless I'm just completely off. Oh, PK gets hit in the middle of the Vati minute. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be continuing. I don't know what the puff sparkle's supposed like the puff pattern's going to look like at the end of Vati 1, but that was a clean Vati 1 for PK. Don't know if this is what they are going to be expecting for Vati 2. Getting messed around on their menu, but the eye pattern was where PK expected. Or they just got lucky. Meanwhile, Cal has been going through Dark Coral Castle. They have got a pretty good pattern on the Chain Soldier. Don't know what the RNG they're gonna get for the for this section, and if they're going to be going for the angle retention or not, or just doing the safe route on the right hand side. PK cleaning up Vati 2. Yeah, they kill it at 32.06. It's about 3 minutes from this point. PK can pick up a PB at this point if they get a solid Vati 3. Yeah, if PK gets a solid Vati 3 from this point, they're going to pick up like a minute plus PB and go to a get a sub 135. So PK does have a submitted 136.06, but I'm very sure that they do have a run they didn't submit. That was a 136 flat or a 135 high 135. It was like a 135.58 or 9 or something like that. Okay, PK getting really messed up by Vatty here. They didn't pull Vatty to the side, so it was just right in the way. She's going to be blocking them. PK is on very low health right now. If they don't be careful, they're going to die. They're on a 3/4 of a heart right now. They don't have a backup fairy. Right, they shouldn't take any more damage from this point. They're going to go out of their way and get that heart. Are they? They're not going to. They get... Ooh. Oh my god, this is so scary. Okay, right, they're shrinking. They're going to go into here. They can take 2 hits. They cannot take 3 hits. Okay, they stun it. Right, they killed everything. They're on 3/4 of heart. They should be good from this point. As long as they don't mess up any of the volleys from this point, they're good. Yeah, they don't get the electricity, the RNG electricity at the beginning of the fight. Oh, he has a fairy. I didn't see him go out of his way and pick up a fairy, but yeah. But yeah, PK is gonna be missing none of these shots at this point. Just missing out on the sub 135, but that is a PB for PK, and the match secured for them. They have kept their tournament chances alive. Using bow. Interesting. GG's to PK. Cal is just finishing up the Dark Knight fights. They're going to be starting their Vatty fights. Must be saying GG's to PK and inviting them in to an interview. Oh, apologies, I had Cal's feed frozen momentarily. They don't have the Vatty 1 manipulation, but they are going to be finishing out this run. Sorry, I keep covering the feed. There we go. Yeah, not a fun Vatty 1 right now for Cal.
Hi.
PK, GG's.
Can you hear me?
Yep. You can...
I'm talking to you, chat.
I think chat can hear you too. Yeah, you should be going out onto stream.
Apparently nobody can hear me.
Oh, no one
Pretty
can hear
cool.
you. Right. I had to change my Discord settings.
But thank you for the GGs, everyone.
Let me try and fix this.
That is a legit PB indeed. But not great. But whatever. At least I finished the run. Alright, I'm gonna join Myth in it.
Oh, PK's on stream. Okay. Hello. Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hello.
Hello.
Ah.
Hi.
Okay, my headset is working.
Here we go. Sorry, I had to just mute your stream. There we go. Okay. Right, you should be coming in on my stream now.
All right. Is there something funky happening?
Yeah, you're listening to the restream, so you're hearing your own audio and then piping it through Discord?
Am I? Or maybe. But where?
Oh no, sorry, that's my end. Never mind. Yeah, okay, there we go. I was like, no one can hear that on stream. Yeah, so, okay, it's just us two now. Excellent. Yeah, GG's. So you did have a... Sorry, I completely missed. Did you have a backup fairy in the Vati fight?
Yes.
You did, okay. Where did you pick that up? Oh, you
Uh,
did. You picked it up in the middle of
I've
Dark Horror Castle.
yeah. I usually don't, and in the end, I didn't need it. But
It was better that you did have it. That was a little bit closer than you would like.
a little bit. In a
So,
way.
how did
Yeah.
the race go for you then? Like, how were you feeling throughout most of it?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, I expected to forfeit in Octoclip again. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it, and we'll see.
Well, you got it third try.
It's was it third?
It
I
was,
didn't count because
yeah,
I mean I was expecting to take forever, but kind of lame that I had the right RNG for the G arrow insert and I did one extra roll, but I mean that just to show that I don't practice. And then I had to do almost like 4 times to get the right insert because I don't know my
yeah,
backups. So that's
yeah.
cool.
Fire has a really nice backup after Mazal, where you dig, after you get the ocarina, you save and quit outside of Fortress, and then you just dig the spot next to you, and
Yeah,
you get one.
Nitros Nitros told me in chat, but it
Yeah,
was kind of too late.
yeah.
But
That's a good one
it's
to learn for this route.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, well, then a lot of things went wrong after the clip. I don't know the manip, so I didn't really expect anything other than a one ink. But like Gyors was kind of ass, Vali 3 was ass. V2 was very good despite being unmanipped. But yeah, I guess next week, hopefully, I don't want to wish Sissin to lose, but I wish to face Sissin next week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you'll find out who you're playing against, either Session or Semi, depending on their match next Monday. Um, you'll be playing against the loser of that match. Um, yeah, were you watching the race throughout the
Not at
race?
all.
Not at all. Okay,
Not at
so
all.
you were slowly pulling out an advantage throughout most of the early game, just because of your more experience with the game, and you, yeah, Cal ended up dying to um the boulders on the Krenel climb.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then they didn't know how to get back to it from the beginning when you have the grip ring, so they got a little bit lost, and they ended up being about 2.5 to 3 minutes behind at enter enter Cave of Flames. Um and yeah, I don't think you had really any problems with any of the tricks up to the fortress almost clip.
Okay.
So you basically held a almost 3 minute advantage at that point, but then they had a decently clean swamp and fortress, so they managed to save a little bit of time at that point. But yeah, you just maintained your lead throughout the whole race, and when it came to Octoclip, they got it sixth try, so you saved about 30 seconds over them, and you both also got one ink as well. So it was a very there were no huge time swings throughout much of the run, other than like at the beginning, I would say, with that death. But we say GG's to Cal, finishing
G
up
to the
their
G.
run. I believe Cal hasn't practiced for the tournament other than today. But we'll be seeing if they want to come in for an interview.
I will be honest, I kind of cheated because I got some Darky wisdom just before the run,
Yeah.
so I think that that's an unfair advantage.
I believe the first two failed from being like frames early, like on the on the Octoclip. It was just like slightly too fast, but then the third one was perfect.
Yep. But the thing is, I realize I'm very often too fast, and that's a legacy of me learning to play the drums when I was younger. The drummer always goes faster and faster.
Yeah. I know people turn on a metronome in that section, and there's
Oh,
nothing
I
against doing
did,
it. You
but
did? Oh, you
I
do have the
I just
okay.
suck.
They are ending stream. Um, they're going and raiding someone else. Yeah, was there really anything else? I don't know how the fairy grab, like you ate the fairy in at the end of Palace. He swung and the bottle just didn't grab it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
usually I grab it, but I don't try to grab it with the bottle. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, you know what, it's just business as usual. Who cares? But yeah, people in chat were telling me that you were like, oh my god, PK got the manip perfectly in DSC, but I don't even know how to do the
Oh.
manip.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, do
I
that
was
again.
completely not doing it.
Yeah, you basically need to look at the
The mummies and there's
yeah,
like
yeah.
8 billion Spartans, dude.
I have a
I don't have the
cheats
time for this.
I have a cheat sheet. I have like it's just like six different RNG values and what they look like, and then you just do adjustments. But you hit the one in the middle, which is the one that we want to aim for. So then you just do like you just do optimal movement from that point, the perfect number of rolls, and you just continue the manipulation through. It's designed in that way so that you don't lose any time if you get it perfectly. And yeah, so but yeah, you went to the you picked up fairies, which killed the manipulation at that point.
Oh yeah, and I mean, I was planning to go in the ghost room anyway,
Yeah,
because that's what I know, and I
yeah,
I don't have the time to learn
you
Mistral
can
for 10 seconds.
you can manipulate those
Yeah, the
dark
ball
nuts
and chain
and
guys
yeah, the ball and chain
mostly.
guys. But if you notice how easy they were to kill, because he landed on the perfect RNG for that. But yeah, there should be a pretty easy way of continuing that manipulation through the double dark nut fight and then the genie, so that is always the one closer to the door that you kill. Um, I don't think anyone's been bothering to make that manipulation just because left side is faster optimally.
Yep. I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not gonna bother either.
I I did do left side, um, only once. In our match I did, but then when I was playing against the Nitros, I was too scared and I went right side. I didn't want the skeleton jamboree to ruin my day.
Yeah, like like they did in Palace of Winds. But I'm not sure Kelly's coming up,
Yeah,
so
no,
I don't know if
they
you have
dipped.
any more stuff to chat.
No,
But
I just gonna
I don't
say
have much interesting stuff to say.
GG's excellent octo clip that won you the match.
Thank you. I can't believe I have to do this again.
Yeah, so yeah, you as you said, you're looking forward to playing against Session, but you don't know who it will
Yes.
be. That's who you're rooting for.
It will be funnier if it's Sicilian, trust me. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
We're gonna do Blano skip.
Oh, is that a Link's
You-
Awakening DX?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, it's a kind of
I
private joke, I guess. You
I
can ask Nitros about it.
yeah, I'm aware of this. He did it. They did it in a tournament that banned
Yeah,
it, but
yeah.
yeah,
We'll see how that goes. But anyway, have a good
yeah,
one, Myth. Thank you for the restream. Yeah, that's about it.
yeah. All right. Thank you for
See
joining
ya,
for the
everyone.
interview. Good luck on your next match.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, so yeah, GG's to PK. That's going to be it for us. Commiserations to Cal. They will have the opportunity to join the redemption bracket. That will be happening later. So far, we have two contestants knocked out of the tournament. Nimbus and Cal are our two first people knocked out. They are there are 16 entrants to the tournament. The bottom 8 will have the opportunity to go into a redemption bracket, which just bans Octoclip, and they just run their own 8-person knockout tournament, single elimination, just to see who's the best out of everyone who doesn't really want to do Octoclip. But as things stand in the tournament so far, we have should I bring it up on the thing here? Yeah, let's bring it up. Let's see how this is going to look. Yeah, I can't really like see it that well, but let's mark PK advancing. PK is going to be playing against the loser of match 15, which is going to be Session and Semi Rare. Later this week, we have gotten that we're going to have the rest of this round of matches. It's going to be. Let's bring up the schedule here. Let's also bring it up over here. I'm just going to ruin the thing that I've got here and move this over like so. Okay, so we've got looks like tomorrow, Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. It's gonna be 6 p.m. European, 5 p.m. UK. We have Toadswoot versus Fire Turtle, world record holder versus one of the best runners of the game. Gonna be one of the most look forward to matches of this round of the tournament. It's gonna be on ZSR2 restream on tomorrow. Go check that out. Then on Saturday, we have a triple header. It's going to be 3 matches back to back to back, all 1 hour apart. It's going to be Darky and Martin, Drak versus Inku, and Kakeri versus Command. Then on Monday, we're going to have the last round, Semi-Rare versus Session. After those matches, we will have, we've got it's Toad Swoop, Fire Turtle, Darky, Martin, Semi, and Session, all in the upper bracket so far. Lossless, we're going to be deciding the top 4 out of those from those 3 remaining matches, joining me in the semi-finals in the upper bracket. And then Drak, Inku, Kakeri, and Commander all fighting for their lives in the tournament. But yeah, that is going to be it for me. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see how the matches go. Thanks everyone for watching. See you later.